Oh well, I'm tired and so weary, but I must go alone till the Lord comes and calls me away. Oh yes, where the morning is so bright and the lamp is a light, and the night is black as the sea. Oh, yes. There will be peace in the valley for me someday. There will be peace in the valley for me. Oh Lord, I pray. There will be no sadness, no sorrow, no trouble I see. There will be peace in the valley for me. Well, the bear will be gentle, and the wolves will be tame, and the lion shall lay down by the lamb. Oh, yes. And the beast from the wild shall be led by the child, and I'll be changed from this creature that I am. Oh, yes. There will be peace in the valley for me someday. There will be peace in the valley for me. Oh Lord, I pray, no trouble I see. There will be peace in the valley for me. There will be no sadness, no sorrow, no trouble I see. There will be peace in the valley for me. Hello and welcome to the Bible with Briscoe. I am your narrator, Shenandoah Briscoe, and today we are going to get through the Bible in 1 year. Today is day 10, Genesis 25 through 26, and Matthew 18, 1 through 17. Father, I ask for the purity in voice and recognition, so that this translation may be a blessing for all of those who are listening. And above that and beyond that, Father, so it'll be a blessing to you. Genesis 25. Abraham had taken another wife, whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Jakashan, Medin, Ishbak, and Shosh. Jokshan was the father of Sheba and Didon. The descendants of Didon were the Asherites, the Letrishites, and the Limonites. The sons of Madden were Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Elba. All of these were descendants of Keturah. Abraham left everything he owned to Isaac, but while he was still living, he gave gifts to the sons of his concubines and sent them away from his son Isaac to the lands of the east. Abraham lived 175 years. Then Abraham breathed his last and died at a good old age, an old man and full of years, and he was gathered to his people. His son Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre, in the field of Ephraim, the son of Zor the Hittite. The field of Abraham had bought from the Hittites. There Abraham was buried with his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac who then lived near Lahai Roi. Beer Lahai Roi. Ishmael's son. This is the account of the family line of Abraham's son Ishmael, who Sarah's slave Hagar, the Egyptian, bore to Abraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael listed in the order of their birth. Nebathah, the firstborn of Ishmael, Kedar, Adbel, Mibsam, Misham, Duma, Massa, Hadada, Tamra, Jada, Naphish, and Kedema. These were the sons of Ishmael, and these are the names of the 12 tribal rulers, according to their settlements and camps. Ishmael lived 137 years. He breathed his last and died, and he was gathered to his people. His descendants settled in the area from Havilah to Shur, near the eastern border of Egypt, as you go towards Ashur. And they lived in hostility towards all the tribes related to them. Jacob and Esau. This is the account of the family line of Abraham's son, Isaac. Abraham became the father of Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel the Amorite, from Paddan Aram, and sister of Laban and Amram. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife, because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayers, and his wife rebuked Rebekah, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. The babies jostled each other within her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two people from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first came out, was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment. So they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out, with his hand grasping Esau's heel. So he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Once, when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country, famished. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I am famished." That is why he was called Edom. Jacob replied, "First, sell me your birthright." "Look, I am about to die," Esau said. What good is the birthright to me?" But Jacob said, "Swear it to me first." So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil stew. He ate and drank, and then got up and left. So Esau despised his birthright. Isaac and Abimelech. Genesis 26. Now there was a famine in the land, and besides the previous famine in Abraham's time, and Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. The Lord appeared to Isaac and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Live in the land where I tell you to live. Stay in this land for a while, and I will be with you and will bless you. For you and your descendants I will give all these lands, and will confirm the oath I swore to your father Abraham. I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and will give them all the lands, and through your offspring all nations on earth will be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed me and did everything I required of him, keeping my commandments, my decrees, and my instructions. So Isaac stayed in Gerar. When the men of the place asked him about his wife, he said, "She is my sister," because his wife was afraid to say, "She is my wife." He thought the man of the place might kill me on an account of Rebekah, because she is beautiful. When Isaac had been there a long time, Amalek, king of the Philistines, looked down from a window and saw Isaac caressing his wife, Rebekah. So Amalek summoned Isaac and said, "She is really your wife. Why did you say she is my sister?" Isaac answered him, "Because I thought I might lose my life on account of her." Then Amalek said, "What is this that you have done to us? One of the men might well have slept with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." So Amalek gave orders to all the people, "Anyone who harms this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." Isaac planted crops in the land, and the same year reaped 100-fold, because the Lord blessed him. The man became rich, and his wealth continued to grow until he became very wealthy. He had so many flocks and herds and servants that the Philistines envied him. So all the wells that his father's servants dug in the time of his father Abraham, the Philistines stopped up, filling them with earth. Then Amalek said to Isaac, "Move away from us. You have become too powerful for us." So Isaac moved away from there and encamped in the valley of Gerar, where he settled. Isaac reopened the wells that had been dug in the time of his father Abraham, which the Philistines had stopped up after Abraham died. And he gave them the same names his father had given them. Isaac's servants dug in the valley and discovered a well of fresh water there. But the herders of Gerar quarreled with those of Isaac's and said, "The water is ours." So he named the well Esek, because they disputed with him. Then they dug another well, but they quarreled over that one also. So he named it Sitnah. He moved on from there and dug another well, and no one quarreled over it, and he named it Rehoboth, saying, "Now the Lord has given us room, and we will flourish in this land." From there he went up to Beersheba. That night the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I will bless you and will increase your number of your descendants for the sake of my servant Abraham." Isaac built an altar there and called it on the name of the Lord. There he pitched his tent, and there his servants dug a well. Meanwhile Amalek had come to him from Gerar with Ahuzzath, a personal advisor, and Phicol, the commander of his forces. Isaac asked them, "Why have you come to me, since you were hostile to me and sent me away?" They answered, "We saw clearly that the Lord was with you, so we said, there ought to be a sworn agreement between us and you. Let us make a treaty with you, that you will do us no harm, just as we did not harm you, but always treated you well, and sent you away peacefully, and now you are blessed by the Lord. Isaac then made a feast for them, and they ate and they drank. Early the next morning the men swore an oath to each other. Then Isaac sent them away, and they went away peacefully. That day Isaac's servants came and told him about the well they had dug. They said, "We found water." He called it Shebab, and to this day the name of the town has been Beersheba. When Esau was 40 years old, he married Judith, daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and also Basemath, daughter of Elyon the Hittite. They were a source of grief to Isaac and Rebekah. Okay, that was Genesis 25 through 26. Now we're going to do Matthew 8, 1 through 7. Jesus heals a man with leprosy. When Jesus came down from the mountainside, large crowds followed him. A man with leprosy came and knelt before him and said, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. "I am willing," he said. "Be clean." Immediately he was cleansed of his leprosy. Then Jesus said to him, "See that you do not tell anyone, but go, show yourself to the priests, and offer the gift Moses commanded, as a testimony to them, the faith of the Samaritan." When Jesus had entered Capernaum, and a centurion came to him, asking for help. "Lord," he said, "my servant lies at home, paralyzed, suffering terribly." Jesus said to him, "Shall I come and heal him?" The centurion replied, "Lord, I do not serve you. I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me, and I tell this one, 'Go,' and he goes, and that one, 'Come,' and he comes. I say to my servant, 'Do this,' and he does it." When Jesus heard this, he was amazed, and said to those following him, "Truly I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. I say to you that many will come from the east and the west, and will take their place at the feast with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the subjects of the kingdom will be thrown outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." Then Jesus said to the centurion, "Go, let it be done, just as you have believed it would." And his servant was healed at that moment. Jesus heals many. 14. When Jesus came to Peter's house, he saw Peter's mother-in-law lying in bed with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she got up and began to wait on him. When evening came, many who were demon-possessed were brought to him, and he drove out the spirits with a word, and healed all the sick. This was to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah. He took up our infirmities and bore our diseases. And there you have Matthew 8, 1 through 17. And so that concludes our Bible with Briscoe for the day. Please tune in again tomorrow, and so that you can catch the Bible with Briscoe. Let's see, tomorrow's going to be covering, we will be doing tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow we will be doing Genesis 27 through 28 and Matthew 18 through Oh, 8, Matthew 8:18 through 34. There you go. Sorry about that. Yes, Genesis 27 through 28, Matthew 8:18 through 34. Okay, you all be blessed, and we will see you tomorrow. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. And they all said, amen.